More individuals are silently struggling around the world than we realize, and the numbers are rapidly increasing. We live in a world that portrays pain in a negative light and glorifies pleasant days. Many people throughout the world want to live in peace and harmony, as well as to have all of the riches they desire, but they never want to consider the other side of the coin. The opposite side of the coin brings with it pain, suffering, and animosity toward your current situation. We have all faced pain and suffering at some point in our lives. It might be your education, finances, relationships, or even a sickness. And most of the time, when we are confronted with circumstances like this, we want them to be resolved as quickly as possible. And maybe that's why we hate pain so much, because pain forces us to slow down. It forces us to confront the parts of our lives we try so hard to ignore. Nobody wants to stay in difficult moments. Nobody wants sleepless nights, disappointment, failure, or the feeling that life is falling apart. Because bad times make us uncomfortable. They make us question ourselves, question life, and sometimes even question whether things will ever get better. And as humans, our minds naturally seek comfort. We want certainty. But the truth is, some of the biggest changes in our lives are born during painful moments. Pain has a strange way of exposing reality. Psychologists and brilliant philosophers have demonstrated that life's pain is not as dreadful as we may believe. Society has made us blind to the beauty that sorrow brings into our lives. And in this video, we will go further into that and also the mindset you need to move from lack to success. When you go through difficult times, something wonderful happens. You begin to see who you truly are. You begin to see how your thoughts work, and you begin to confront and face yourself. And the reverse is true when life is simple. When life is easy, you're not compelled to confront your limitations or try new things. Why is this happening? Because pain eliminates comfort and keeps you on your toes. You begin to realize your true self and what you are made of. Your thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs become more obvious. Let me tell you a short story of a man named Viktor Frankl. He was a successful psychiatrist with a future, a career, and a family he loved deeply. Then, during World War II, he was sent into Nazi concentration camps. Overnight, comfort disappeared. Freedom disappeared. Even his name was replaced with a number. Every day became survival. He watched people around him lose hope. Some gave up mentally before their bodies gave up physically. But in the middle of all that suffering, Frankl began to notice something strange. The people who survived the longest were not always the strongest physically. They were the people who still found meaning in their pain. In that darkness, Frankl began confronting himself in ways comfort never forced him to before. He realized he could not control his situation, but he could control his response to it. Even starving, freezing, and exhausted, he would imagine himself one day standing in front of students, teaching them the lessons he was learning through suffering. That vision kept him alive. And after surviving the camps, he went on to write the book Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most influential books ever written about human resilience. Frankl later said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." And as Carl Jung once said, "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." Meaning, a person cannot truly grow, evolve, or discover who they are without struggle, pain, and difficult experiences. Suffering forces you to go deeper into yourself. It exposes your fears, weaknesses, habits, and beliefs, but it also reveals your strength, resilience, and potential. Easy times make you comfortable. Hard times make you conscious. Going through difficult times might shatter the assumption that everything is supposed to go your way exactly when you want it to. It makes you wait for your ambitions and objectives to come true rather than when you want them. You might desire that new job right away, but life doesn't give you anything for free. It requires you to work for it. It dispels the myth that something happens instantly and things will change simply because you believe without working. It teaches you that you can't have something for nothing. But while it eliminates this illusion, it is also very beautiful because it reminds you that if you work hard for something with faith, it will be yours naturally. I've seen people who were down train their minds and work hard to become extremely successful. And you can see this nearly everywhere nowadays. Hard difficulties bring out the best in people because they cause them to become more compassionate and considerate of others. On the other hand, Individuals who have it entirely easy and do not face any difficulties are less inclined to be compassionate of others. This is very much the way life works. Nick Vujicic went through one of the darkest periods of his life. Born without arms and legs, he spent much of his childhood asking himself why he was different. He felt isolated, ashamed, and hopeless. There was even a time when he believed his life had no meaning. But something slowly changed during those painful years. Because he couldn't chase life the same way everyone else did, he began noticing things most people ignored. He learned to appreciate small moments, the warmth of the sun, a conversation with someone who genuinely cared, laughing with friends, watching the ocean, being alive another day. While many people around him believed happiness only came from money, status, appearance, or success, Nick discovered something deeper. Peace can exist even when life is imperfect. The pain that once made him feel cursed eventually opened his eyes to life itself. He became grateful for things people with perfect lives often overlook. And strangely, that gratitude transformed him. Instead of becoming bitter, he became one of the most inspiring speakers in the world, traveling across countries, helping people find hope. This is another advantage. When you're down and make your way to the top, you have something other people don't have: resilience. You are no longer able to adapt to life's obstacles. Instead, you are increasingly resistant to them. Where others give up because it is too difficult, you see it as a message to persevere, because you have experienced far worse days. Even if you lose everything, you will have the strength to keep going. Most importantly, it gives your life meaning. You begin to appreciate the gifts you have, and do not disregard or become complacent. Instead, you work hard every day to maintain the things you previously hoped for. Many of the most meaningful moments in life come from struggle, because it leads to growth and it pushes you to evolve. You should understand that we were not brought into this world to struggle and live in rags, and that everyone has the right to be successful. You have the right to attain your goals, but you must be positive rather than negative. During difficult times, it is easy to worry and become concerned. However, those are the bad parts of life. You should always be at rest knowing that success is within reach. All you have to do is work hard and be patient. I can't go into detail about this in this video, but if you want to learn how to reprogram your mind to believe that it is your right to be successful, watch this video. And for our task today, without money or status, what is the one thing you truly appreciate and love?